During an attack by Destroyah on the Zone 8 Kaiju Defense Force Research Facility, Dr. Brian Anders was forced by Colonel Matsumiya to utilize a device he created called the G-Signaler to summon Godzilla to fend Destroyah off. The device failed to summon Kaiju Alpha, and Destroyah destroyed the base and crushed Matsumiya in the process. Major Samantha Taggart tried to free Matsumiya but was forced to abandon him on his orders. As they fled the building, they heard the distant roar of Anguirus, whom Anders assured Taggart had no chance of defeating Destroyah. Anguirus charged at Destroyah, who put him in a chokehold with his tail. Taggart then steered a plane into the fray to aid Anguirus, whom she felt was being bullied by the more powerful monster. This drew Destroyah's fire from Anguirus onto them. They then decided to lure Destroyah into some tanks of Freon in order to freeze it, one of the only recorded means of stopping it. Anders then tried to rework his G-Signaler to repel Destroyah. It only disoriented it, but Matsumiya, who had freed himself and gotten into the last remaining helicopter in time to hear Anders' plan about the Freon tanks, used the chopper's tow cable to bring the tank down on Destroyah. When it first thawed, after first getting bashed by Anguirus, it returned to the ocean, and Matsumiya congratulated Anders for developing a device to repel Kaiju. As Anguirus crossed the bay to head into the open ocean, Godzilla arose, but passed up Anguirus to attack the base. Camp Schwab, an American research base in Okinawa, was put on lockdown after an unsuspecting corporal brought a Rodan egg back from a hike. Dr. Holder was called to study it while the base braced for an attack from the circling monster. He was quickly informed that the egg would be destroyed before he could research it and grew violent. When he returned home to his son, Ethan Holder, he was hostile toward his son's pleas to remain home from school due to his constantly being bullied, and instead still lamented the loss of the egg. Ethan, seeing an opportunity, then talked to his father into stealing the egg from the laboratory under the cover of night. Ethan then stayed home from school to watch over the egg, and when Dr. Holder prepared to enter his laboratory, he was arrested by military police. Ethan, angry at his father for his lack of interest in his life, took the egg to school and left it on the playground in order to summon Rodan to kill the students who had tormented him. When Rodan came for the egg, Ethan was greatly distraught when the military began to fire on the monster. He even went as far as to call the military bullies themselves for attacking a creature that only wanted to take its child and leave. Near the end of its raid, Rodan's egg hatched, and Ethan climbed onto Rodan's wing and flew away with it while the military police swore to his father that they would hunt down and kill both Rodan and its child. On a mission to collect more psychics for one of the United Nations-funded psychic schools, Miki Segusa came across Tristan, who joined with no hesitation. He was taken with 7 other students to see Headmaster Mughal, who informed them that they were to be trained to access the minds of monsters to defeat them. While at school, Tristan was trained to access a monster's mind and was able to connect with an aquatic kaiju. Due to his early success in connecting, Mughal brought him to the next level of connection to the monster, confirmed as Titanosaurus, but Segusa removed him from the machine on account of how much pain he was experiencing. That night, Tristan dreamt of his parents in danger, and he traveled home after telekinetically blasting a path out of the Institute, but could not sense his parents inside, only after images of 2 figures in black dragging them away. He then noticed that he had summoned Titanosaurus and was horrified at the destruction he had unintentionally caused. While talking to Titanosaurus, a group of aliens appeared behind him and teleported away with him. Miki and Mughal searched for the wreckage of the Institute, but were unable to psychically locate Tristan. Mughal then informed her that the UN considered the Institute a failure, and that the children were to be sent home. Mughal, who was really the leader of the Simians, took Tristan to his homeworld to help him control Titanosaurus, so that the monster could lead an invasion of Earth, alongside 2 Mechagodzillas. His best mimic, disguised as Miki, convinced him that the coming battle would be against the people who abducted his parents, motivation Mughal saw as essential to their success. After the city of Linfen, China was destroyed by a monster, the United Nations sent Mechagodzilla to investigate the area and to search for Godzilla. While investigating the wreckage, a factory exploded on them and an unidentified smog monster attacked them from behind. It quickly took off into the skies, but Mechagodzilla followed it. When it touched down, it awoke Godzilla. The two monsters fought while Mechagodzilla helped to fire on Hedorah. Godzilla was eventually overpowered and engulfed by Hedorah, but Mechagodzilla, acting against their directive to eliminate Godzilla, attracted the monster to it and began to fly into outer space carrying it, with the hopes of burning Hedorah up in the atmosphere. They did not have enough fuel to make it all the way and resorted to blasting it the rest of the way with Mechagodzilla's weapon systems. Having saved the world and Godzilla, Mechagodzilla returned to its base. Their captain projected confidence in humanity's technological prowess, even as four smaller tadpole-like Hedorah, who survived the attack, sought out new sources of pollution. Famous thrill seeker Brian Allsworth was being interviewed about his life when he began to recount the tale of his encounter with Godzilla. After 10 years without a newsworthy adventure, the government contacted Allsworth to get him to climb up Godzilla to obtain some tissue samples. He agreed and was given a radiation suit to undergo the task. Bryson mounted Godzilla by jumping onto his tail from a jeep in rural Mongolia. 7 hours into his climb, he had discovered a weird new species of bird, and rain had begun to fall as Godzilla came upon a small village and destroyed it, much to Bryson's horror. A villager attempted to shoot Godzilla but ended up wounding Bryson's shoulder and damaging his suit. Not letting this deter him from reaching his goal, by the 12th hour of his climb, Bryson was nearly at Godzilla's head, but then Kumonga attacked. Kumonga had set a quicksand pit and quickly went to wrapping up its prey, with Bryson on its back. He avoided being caught in the web by sheltering behind one of Godzilla's dorsal plates. Bryson began to think that all was lost, but then the blue light of Godzilla's atomic breath began to shine in the wrappings, and Godzilla escaped. He quickly began to attack Kumonga and even ripped off one of its legs and beat the spider with it. Kumonga then began to retreat, but Godzilla delivered the finishing blow with its tail. 15 hours into his ordeal, Bryson finished his climb. The radiation he was exposed to through the hole in his suit left him with cancer, but altered his outlook on Godzilla. He stopped believing that attacking Godzilla would defeat it, but rather understanding it. He attempted to share his point of view, but was cut short when his interviewer had to leave the studio to cover another Godzilla attack.